Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the entity relationship diagram designers. We have one of the free online tools. It's called erdplus.com. erdplus.com. So we can open or register, sign up here in this website to have an account. Then after that we have to log in. So after login we can control our portal. We can create diagrams, we can modify, we can delete, and so on. This tool actually is a very useful tool for lecturers and students, especially for the course SSK 3408 database application development. So hopefully everybody will get some benefit from this, inshallah. Now actually I'm going to explain how to create diagram from scratch. So I will start with what they call it crossfoot model. Then also we will learn how to convert this model to chain model. Then after that how to convert the chain model to SQL script. Okay, so let's start now. Here we have this button. This website actually is very simple. So we can click at first on this button to create a new diagram. Then here we write the name of the diagram. So maybe we use first entity relationship diagram. And here we have three options of the type. So the first option, the entity relationship diagram, means the crossfoot model. The second one is the relational schema, which is the chain model. And here we have the star schema. And I think star schema is out of the scope of our course. It's not used at all. So here we will start at first with this type, entity relationship diagram. I create the diagram first. Here is the file of the diagram. So now we can click here. Then after we click, we can see the workplace here, the canvas of the workplace. Here, using this menu, we can play with the canvas size, and we can rename, or maybe after we finish we can export to an image. And here we have a number of buttons. The first one here from the right is the label, if we want to write anything as a comment or as a notation on our diagram. And also here relationship, attribute, entity, connect, select, delete. We will learn them all and we will know how to use them. Okay, the first thing we do when we deal with the crossfoot model is to create an entity. So let us take a small or quick example. Let us take the student and country entities. Okay. At first, we create the first entity. We call it country. For entity, the name should be singular. Must be singular, cannot be plural. Okay? And here we have the type of the entity. We have regular, weak, and associative. Regular means strong type. Weak means weak type. Okay? As we know in the standard notation. So here we, because this country is independent entity, so when we want to create if we want to create a country, we will not rely on any data from other tables. That's why they call it independent. So it must be regular, which means strong. Then here we can click on add attribute to add the first field, which is the ID. ID actually is the primary key, which is one of the necessary parts of any entity. And as the latest standard, they prefer to use capital I and small d. Okay, we shouldn't write country ID here because the table is already named with country. We shouldn't repeat. We can use it as simple as ID. Okay, then here we use name. which means the name of the country. Then after that we may add another attribute, we call it short name, like MY for Malaysia, maybe SG for Singapore, and so on. Okay. And here, as we can see, because we make this unique, it takes the, we can see here the underline below the ID, which means this one is the primary key. Then let us create another entity. Entity student. It should be also singular. And here student, is it the type of the entity? Is it regular or weak or associative? It must be weak. Why? Because it's not independent. It depends on the existence of the country. So in order to key in the data of a student, we at least need to have one record at the country table. So this entity depends on the country. Okay, so we select weak. Then after that we add attribute. Then also we need to add ID, which is unique also. And here we can see multiple options like multi-valued, optional, composite, derived, and so on. ID here is the primary key, that's why we can see the underline. Then after that we add another ID, another attribute, we call it full name. Then this full name, consists of two fields, or the combination of two fields. So for that reason, we have to make this composite field. Then after we click the composite field, we will see the other button here will appear. Make sure that we already selected the composite field. Then after that we can add component attribute. So here we have the first field is first name. Then the second field is second name. Okay. Then after this we go back to the student attribute. Then we add a student entity. We add another attribute, which is like date of birth. Okay. And we also need to add something like IC. IC is also unique. Okay. We make it here. Then after that we want to define the relation between student and country. The nature of this relation actually is one-to-many, because every country can have multiple students. We may have many students from every country, and for every student should be coming from only one country. Okay, should carry only one citizenship. Okay, and here we click on connect. Then we go and select the first entity, which is the strong entity. We start actually from the strong to the weak. Okay, we drag and drop, then we release the mouse button here, and we see the relation. But this relation need to be configured, because we have to have some notations here and here. So because the country to student is one-to-many relation, means we must have the two parallel lines here, and here we must have the triangle. Okay, so we go to relation. Actually here we have something confusing, because they make it in the opposite way, but we have to learn it. It's very simple. Okay, we select on the relation first, then we go to the entity 1 here. It's already country. Okay, selected as country. The country is the one side of the relation. Okay, and the student is the many side. So here, at the one side we should select the opposite thing, meaning. And we can see here the triangle. And also, this relation is mandatory. If we want to make it mandatory, otherwise if we want to make it optional, so in that case, the country ID field here at the student table should allow null. Okay? And the other side, we make it 1, which is student. Actually, student is the many side. And here we have to select the opposite way. We make it 1 and also mandatory. Then here we can see the 2 parallel lines. Okay. Here we are. We already finished. So now we can save. Or maybe we wait until the autosave. We can see the arrows here moving for the autosave. After we save, we can see the save button is already disabled. So here, if for these other buttons, relationship we already used. Relationship and connect is the same actually, but relationship can be between two entities, but connect can be between entity and attribute, and maybe between two any other two types. Okay, for the button delete, when we select anything, we can delete it. Okay. Label, we can write whatever here. Inside the label, we can write the first entity relationship diagram for SSK 3408, for example. Okay. Then here we can save again, and after this we wait until this arrow disappears. After this we can go back to the directory. So here we can see our file, and we can see the 3 dots here. From here we can open, rename, move to trash, copy, maybe export, convert to relational schema. For export, this one is a very useful tool also. We can export our diagram to a file with the extension of ERD+. So this file can be shared between the lecturer and students. So students can take that file, then later they can import it. So they can use this button, click import, and then drag that file to here, to their account, then press to import, and they will see the file in their account. Okay, the most important thing is the convert to relational schema and also generate SQL. For the first type of the diagrams, which is the cruise foot model, we cannot generate SQL from that type. But after we convert to relational schema, we can generate SQL from the relational schema. Okay. So here, let us select this, convert to relational schema. From here, 3 dots, convert to relational schema. Because this diagram is cruise foot model. Now we want to make it a chin model. Okay. First chin, or maybe first relational schema. Okay. So now we can see here the second file. From here we can click to open, then we can see our relational schema. We have 2 entities here. The first entity is the country, and the second entity is student. And here, to make this proper, we have to modify some things, because in the previous type of diagrams we cannot set the data types for the attributes, but here we can play with the data types, sizes, and so on. Let us go to the first table, and here one important thing for the table name must be plural, so we have to make it to change it to be countries. Okay. One more thing, the primary key we didn't set. We actually this key this field was selected as a unique, not as a primary key. But here if we want to make it primary key, we come here and we select this. In some cases it cannot be selected automatically, but now in this scenario it's already selected by automatically, I mean. Okay, after we select here, we can see that this one is bold, and then we see the underline. Okay, the other thing, we have to go to the attributes below. So we can see the first one is unique, integer, and not optional. Optional means allow null. Okay. And here the size, we can play with the size, but for integer it cannot be modified. For the name, it's unique, must be unique, because the case of country is a special case. Also name must be unique, and the name must be varchar or any equivalent type. And here the country name can be we can set it to 50 character. And after this we go to the short name. Short name, as I mentioned, also a unique short name, so it should be also selected as unique. Why here we make the name and short name unique? Because we don't want to have multiple entries for any country. Okay, varchar also, but the size here is 3 characters only, because I think the short name for countries is the maximum 3 letters, 3 characters. Okay. For here, if you remember, when we created the student in the previous diagram, we created one composite property called full name. But when we transfer, we cannot see the full name, but we can see the 2 fields, first name and second name. Okay. Here we need to go to students. The table name, we change it also to plural. We check the primary key, it's automatically selected or set to ID. Okay, then after that we check, we make it unique here, not optional. Then the first name can be shouldn't be unique, because many students can have the same name, like Ali, Muhammad, something like that. Okay, the name here should be varchar or any equivalent, and we can make it 25. Then we go to the second name. We shouldn't make it optional, because if we select this as optional, it will allow null, so the field can be left empty. Okay, here varchar 25. For the date of birth, not unique, not optional, not integer, it must be date. And for the IC is unique, not optional also, and it can be alphanumeric also. And if we follow, I think the Malaysian IC is 13, we can make it 14. I think that's enough now. Okay. One thing actually we have missed. When we convert this diagram, the relation is not converted. I don't know why, but anyway, we can check again. So let us convert to relational. Let us make any name, test. Okay, yeah, the relation is here, but I don't know why in our diagram is already deleted, maybe, or I don't know. Okay, anyway, let us go here, first relational diagram. Let us create the relation manually. So when we create the relation, we should click on connect. We start with the strong type to the weak type. Then here we will see the ID field as a foreign key is already created here. We should go to that field. We modify. We make it like country ID. So country ID cannot be unique, cannot be optional, and also it must be integer, because the main ID type at the strong entity is also integer. We have to use the same data type between the foreign key and the primary key. Okay, now we can save. And here, what else maybe we can check? Okay, for the orders here, reorder, we can reorder the names, the attributes. Maybe we put the IC before or after, whatever. Okay, that's all. For the recursive key is an advanced topic. So the recursive key is a relation between the table and itself. Okay, I'm not going to explain it now because this one is an advanced topic, as I mentioned, and maybe later I record one video about it. And here we have few groups, add new unique groups. Okay, here we can define another new unique group as well if we need it. Nothing else here. For the label also we can use label here to write anything. Okay, also we can delete it. Oh, oops, we can delete the new label here, then save. Okay, that's all about the diagram. So after this we can go to documents. This is our testing. Let us delete it, move it to trash, this one. Then here our diagram, our chain model diagram that we already converted from the first diagram. So here we can convert this to SQL. So here we just click on generate SQL, then we can see the code here. We can copy this code to the SQL developer and we can run it as a batch or as a script. Then these two tables will be automatically generated. Okay. Actually, this tool is very useful when we have a very big diagram, maybe a complex diagram, or maybe very big scenario. For the very big scenarios, we better use the visual diagrams to understand and to recognize whether if we forget something or maybe we miss some relation or something like that. So it's a better tool than the writing or creating the schema using commands directly. So the first thing, we create the diagram. We validate that diagram. We make sure that all relations are created and everything is correct. Then after that we can generate the SQL. After we generate the SQL, also we need to review the SQL in order to modify in case we have something missed in the visual tool. We can manually modify here. For example, we can remove not null, or we can add whatever. We can create foreign key, for example, or change anything, spelling or something like that. Then after that, copy, put to the or paste at the SQL developer tool, run as a script, and everything will be fine. I hope you got benefit from this, and thank you very much. In the next video, I'm going to record for other tool, inshallah, and I will share with you. Thank you very much.